Do y'all remember the game that was originally supposed to come out last month, Feb, and got delayed a month later to end up getting delayed again in the end with no release date? What? No, not that. It's a shitty ass beater piece game. Get the shit off my screen. Why were you even thinking about that? The game I'm talking about is called Emblem Tales. Is that one good looking Roblox game everyone was talking about last month, you know, until it got delayed. So delayed says Emblem Tales still has no release date announced, so sorry if you click on this video looking for a release date. The good news is you're here watching this video right now, and hitting the like button is less harmful than killing an ant. So please. Anyways, let's get down to the juiciness of this video. Today I present to you Nasuuu. What might this be? You may be asking. Shut the fuck up and get into the point. Nasuu's awesome super uses undefined opinion. Today I'm going to be giving a solid ass constructive opinion, hopefully, on the game Emblem Tales. Ha! You see how I didn't say delayed tales this time? I'ma just get straight to the point. Disclaimer! All the background footage relating to the ET Emblem Tales wasn't recorded by me. Also, some of the sneaks is a little old, so keep that in mind. Most of what I'm about to say is based, in my opinion, as someone who has never played the game in the day of his life.
5 minutes later.
Shout out to Logtop for the clip. Part 1 of Nasuuu. I call this part of the video FAP. No one not familiar, I denominate this probably post this FAP or anything of such sort. Formalizing a perspective FAP. Perspective equals opinion, but not really. FAP just sounds better than FAO. Anyways, if you look at the Emblem Tales YouTube channel or Twitter, you get buttloads of sneaks to look at. But anco tenemos un problema. They're 2 months, 4 months, and even 5 months old. Unfortunately, I'm not a special guy, so it's not like I can descend from heaven and bring you the latest goodies. If that were the case, one might call me a divine being of some sort, but unfortunately I'm not that. So to base our perspective on the game, I picked a few different kinds of sneaks that gives us a broad general idea of what the game might be, but sneaks can only carry us so far. So I went ahead and even gathered some of the most recent videos from YouTubers who have played the game, and we're gonna go on ahead and watch some gameplay later. Right now we're gonna start with the sneaks. There's a bunch of map sneaks to look at, so I picked one of those, but also sneaks that kind of showcase some of the classes as well. Like I said before, most of these sneaks are kind of 4, 5, and 6 months old, so it's kind of gonna be hard to develop a good general idea on the game like this, but hey. So the first sneak consists of a class sneak, which the sneak was posted literally 4 months ago, so the class is gonna be hella different from what it is today. The only differences I'm really expecting from old classes to the modern classes they have right now in game is bug fixes, balances, and maybe even some slight changes to the moves, like different particles, or maybe even a completely new revamped move. At least it gives us an idea of what we are looking at or to somewhat expect in the future when the game releases. So the two classes are Brawler and Ranger that we're looking at right now in this sneak. So for Brawler, we have several moves: Fighter's Fury, Violent Strike, True Strike, Patient Defense, Quaking Strike, and Rapid Blows. Brawler consists of 6 moves, but since the sneak is old, it maybe have more, I don't know. Based off the sneak, Brawler looks more like an upfront type of class where you'd be more in the front lines than anything else, but it also kind of looks like a defensive class at the same time. This is a wild guess I'm taking right now, but it's probably a balanced class in game, but I don't know. Ranger consists of 5 moves: Infernal Impact, Vortex Shot, Shocking Tempo, which seems to stun, Hunting Step, and Arrow Volley. This class is definitely one of the support classes that will be in game. Support seems to be a big thing within this game according to testers, so classes like this will be more important to have around you in your guild or group or whatever. From what I know, this game seems to be one of those games where you'll always be playing with somebody else, preferably a friend or something. Most of the time, being a support class always seems lame in most games, but what I'm hoping for is that support classes will be heavily needed, not in an annoying way, but so that everyone realizes that you can go with the class that does the most freaking damage and not the class that is supposed to give buffs and heals. I just want support classes to be needed in the game and have a purpose, but that would be cool in my opinion. The game obviously looks good and has W animation. From just watching it, it looks like it's smooth in every way. I'm not very scared about looks or how smooth the game will be, but my number one concern has to be the most famous question to ask when a Roblox game is about to drop: will it have enough content? Obviously, as someone who hasn't played the game, I can't even answer that or have a general idea on how much content is going to be on release. My number 2 concern, which isn't as important as my number 1 concern, is the grinding system. If the game is going to be another bandit beater game, I'm going to be insanely disappointed. I don't know about you, but I did not wait for the game to be delayed twice for it to be a bandit beater. If it's unavoidable and inevitable, then I at least hope it's going to be a fun ass bandit beater game in some way. But if you give us some trashy ass, shitty ass bandit beater game for us to play, then I'm just gonna maybe that was a little bit too excessive, but you get the point. If you haven't noticed, I've been playing the map sticks in the background while I talk. Anyways, I was going to show myself watching a video on the game from some other YouTuber, but I think that'll be boring for you to watch, so I went ahead and I already watched some videos to kind of broaden my perspective a little bit before giving a last opinion. Since we've done our homework, now I'm going to be talking about things I dislike, what I want to see in the game, and the suggestions that I have on my mind right now. This is probably the most important part of the video, so stick around. So I already mentioned potential banning beat and potential lack of content during release. Honestly, for the game to get delayed this much time, I'm hoping it's going to come out with at least as much content as Deep Wood came out with. This is a Roblox game I'm talking about, so don't get your hopes up too high. It's not like it's going to have Elden Ring content on release. If the game does turn out to be a bandit beater, which most games do turn out to be, then let it be at least an enjoyable bandit beater in some way. There's a variety of classes you can choose from, which I heavily support. It's just nice to have options. The game seems to be based around playing with others, which also seems fun. Sorry if you're friendless, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe there's like a way you can play by yourself, I don't know. There's also PvP game modes, so it's not like it's gonna be straight PvE. In a game like this with a lot of stuff to balance out, I'm kind of concerned about balancing. Every game of course has a meta, but I'm hoping it's not going to be anything too crazy that's going to need to get balanced. Metas are nice and all to have in game as a player, but at the same time they kind of ruin the game. So I mean, yeah, like for example, there was a meta in Demon Fall where you could literally get prestige 10 in like 2 days, which I actually have a video of that, but I mean, yeah, that's off topic. Testers can only test so much, so bugs and glitches will be a thing during release, so like don't expect like the, oh my god, this game is gonna be perfect, like no, bruh. Now slots, my take on slots is that it's a big thing to have if you want to play different kinds of classes and whatnot, but if the grinding system is repetitive, kind of like deep working, then it's going to be demotivating to grind on multiple slots. I like how you can't transition from one class to the other on the same slot. It just kind of makes the game more diverse in a way. Although you might get bored of a class you've been maining for a while, but that's a good thing why 2 slots will be free. I'm also wishing for a way where you can reset your slot and pick a different class if you want. The in-game world seems big to explore, which is definitely a good thing rather than a bad thing. There's a bunch of things you can do, like an auction house, NPC, black market seller, traveling system, which is a must, and a bunch of other things. Kind of excited for this, and I don't really see any of this being a problem unless the transport system is kind of dumb, because like having a big map and like the transport system is slow or whatnot, that's kind of less retarded. Some stuff I would like to see in game would have to be a more everlasting end game. Once you've done everything there is to do, well, literally what's next? I know this is a kind of a blind assumption that I'm making right now, thinking there isn't a lot of end game stuff since I'm not a tester, but you know how Roblox games are. So even if there's a lot of stuff to do end game, I still have to suggest this, like you can't really go wrong with as much content you're putting out. So I mean, as long as the content is valid and fun, then I mean, like, what's the big deal? We're going to have to rely on updates to bring us fresh content and things to do, which isn't a bad thing, but it all depends on how much content upon release will satisfy us until the next update. And obviously if they take like 4 months to update the game, then I mean the game might die, or I mean, I don't know, but yeah, more variety within the class and more uniqueness will make every class enjoyable to play. This is also what I want to see, and is one of my biggest suggestions. Is 8 different classes, so that's a good amount of classes, but is each and every one class worth it? I just kind of want classes to have their own meaning, and I think that would just be cool in the game. So for example, if 2 classes are kind of alike, like let's say we have 2 healing classes and they're very much alike, but just one healing class is better, so what's the point of the other one? You know, like we have the better healing class, so like what's the point of the other one? I think stat wise a more in-depth type of approach should be satisfying. Most games have their stats like strength this, endurance that, agility for this. Now how Elden Ring did it, the stats is kind of a good example of what I mean by a more in-depth approach to the stat system. Elden Ring stat system can be a little bit confusing for the younger audience, so I wouldn't say make it like confusing like how Elden Ring is. Elden Ring stats isn't even confusing, but I'm just saying this is Roblox and kids will be playing this game, like 12, 13-year-old kids will be playing this game. I wouldn't say make the stats confusing, but personally, I would like to see a more in-depth approach of the stats, and stats actually meaning something, but that's just me. There's a lot of things I would like to say, but we are already past the 9-minute mark within this video, so this is pretty much going to be the end of the video. The game seems amazing, and I have a great feeling about the game. Every game has their flaws, so that is expected, but what I'm really hoping for is for this game to survive a long time with a good amount of content and bring enjoyment for the players. I'm definitely going to be making videos on the game once the time comes. I think it's definitely worthwhile. I must say this again though, Emblem Tales is a Roblox game, so don't drag your hopes up too far into the sky, but I definitely think this game is going to be solid and fun. All right, I'm tired of editing and writing scripts. Video took forever to put together, so please consider leaving a like, and yeah,
shoot my shot like a fucking hit scene. seeker. Off of the molly and the coke, she a keeper. No, I really love her, but no, I don't need her. No, it sounds bad, but I never wanna leave her. Yeah, I've been in my bag for a long, long time. I've been going down the road, it's a long, long ride. And the only one I want is you, my side. We gon' split this shit up like it was apartheid.